Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Homoeopathy Super Sessions by Dr. Jagos. Today I'll be doing the second part, that is the types of logic. I'll be continuing with the inductive part of the logic. Thus in inductive logic, we go from particulars to general. We see the cause-effect relationship. So please remember that in inductive logic, we go from the particulars to the general. So when we go from the particulars to the general, we are doing generalization, or in other words, it is nothing but the application of the inductive logic. So while taking a case, we are seeing the particular symptoms, or we are seeing the truth, we are seeing the facts, we are seeing the expressions of the patient illness in the form of the signs and symptoms. So we are taking into consideration the physical particulars, the physical generals, including the mental symptoms. So once we got all the other varieties of the particulars, we are now have to form it. Now we have to come to some conclusion by using, or some inference by using the inductive logic. So what are we doing? We are generalizing it later on. Meaning what? We are grouping all the physical particular symptoms under one group, all the physical general symptoms under one group, and all the mental symptoms under the one group. So basically what are we doing? We are doing the case synthesis. That is nothing but generalization. Well, let me give an example so that it will become more clear to you for you to understand. Just to recap again, in inductive logic, we go from particulars to general. Now, let us just give you an example which doesn't have any relationship with homeopathy, but it will explain to you the concept of inductive logic, whereby we go from particulars to the general. First example, let us say the days in a week. They are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we conclude that there are 7 days in a week. And thus we generalize it by saying that there are 7 days in a week. So the particulars are there: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And when we put it in a general form, we say that there are 7 days in a week. Well, let's take another example. In a similar fashion, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So again, there are particulars and facts, or facts which we are dealing with. So these are the names of the months in a year. So we conclude that there are 12 months in a year. So we generalize it by saying that there are 12 months in a year. So we are going from the particulars, that is January to December, and we are generalizing it that there are 12 months in a year. One more example, the third example, that's the last example. In a classroom, there are students who are wearing jeans, t-shirt, blouse, tops, shirts, pants, socks, etc. So thus we conclude that all the students are wearing a variety of different types of clothes. So, and we generalize it by saying that all the students are wearing clothes. So particulars are there about the jeans, t-shirt, blouse, tops, etc. And we generalize it saying that they are wearing clothes. So I hope these 3 examples make the concept of inductive logic very clear. Now let us come to the application of the inductive method in the science of homeopathy. That is, the inductive method in science is the application of the principles of inductive logic to scientific research. So when we apply inductive logic to the homeopathic system of medicine, it deals with the following points. That is, exact observation, correct interpretation, rational explanation, and scientific construction of the observed facts. Now let us understand each of the points in a better way. The first point, exact observation. In that, the observation should be unprejudiced, accurate, and complete. Naturally, the person should be in his sound senses, and malobservation and non-observation should be avoided. So if we take this exact observation and correlate it with our great master, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, when he discovered homeopathy, in the year 1790, he was translating the William Scullions Materia Medica, volume 2, page 108, where he came across a sentence saying that the cinchona bark can produce the malarial or the ague fever. And he also came across another, and so this made him think that why is it that only cinchona bark will be able to produce ague fever? There are other substances which are more astringent and more and they are not capable of producing the ague fever. So this he observed, and he interpreted correctly by saying that there are more substances which are more bitter and more astringent than the cinchona bark, but they did not produce ague or the malarial fever. Thus, in correct interpretation, the observed phenomena must be correctly interpreted. It includes correct inference, analysis, and synthesis. So what did he do? In rational explanation, Dr. Hahnemann, he prepared a juice of cinchona bark and gave 4 grams of it twice in a day to his family members and later on to his followers, friends, and relatives. And he found out that when he gave the juice of the cinchona bark, the symptoms of malaria appeared. That is chill, fever, and the sweat stage. When he stopped giving or he stopped administering the cinchona bark juice, the fever subsided. And again, when he repeated, again the fever came back. So this was the rational explanation which he gave, that the substances which are more bitter and more astringent, they did not produce the ague fever. Scientific construction of the observed facts is that putting the observed facts in order so that through scientific experimentation and construction, we can design an experiment. Also putting the facts in a way, in a system, so that it shall agree with the reality. So basically, ultimately, what Dr. Hahnemann came across, he came to a conclusion saying that whatever substances can cause a disease can also cure the disease. So for this, he then started proving many drugs, and he invented the law, or rather, he took up from Hippocrates the law of similars, and he put the application of the law of similars into practice in homeopathy. And therefore, he scientifically constructed an observation by saying that whatever can cause a disease can also cure the disease. Thus, during case taking, we are applying both the inductive and deductive logic. So when we are taking the case and afterwards we are analyzing, we are synthesizing the case, we are rather unconsciously doing both the inductive as well as the deductive logic of reasoning. During case taking, with respect to inductive logic, case synthesis is done, which I've just told you. When we take a case, we take all the particulars and then we group them into the various groups, like the mentals, physical generals, and the physical particulars. So with respect to inductive logic, we go from the particulars to the generals, we do generalization. So case synthesis will deal with the inductive logic. So that's all for this video about inductive logic. Next video will be on the deductive logic. So please stay tuned for more. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Thank you for your patient listening.